startups. There was a hackathon, which I had to travel like 2 to 3 hours from my city to participate. Here comes all the skills and certifications I have done. It adds the skills also. If you can see,
Oh,
it's
this
adding all
is
my
so
skills.
cool. Thank you, Sai, for doing this. Really means a lot to me. I am so excited to talk about your journey of how you got the data analyst position, especially in this weird tech recession market. So I am excited to learn more about you. But let's start with a quick intro, like what do you do, where are you from, and fun stuff about you.
Yep, I'm Sai Kumar, and then I'm from Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and then I have moved to United States in last January, and then I completed my master's in 16 months, and I have graduated in May 2023. I've started to work as a lead data analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield in June 2023, and then it's my third month, and then I'm loving it. Like every day is a new learning, so that yeah, the learning has started. So I'm excited about learning more.
Yeah, yeah. And for people who are watching, we're gonna film like two separate video, one about the data analyst role and career, and then we're gonna also gonna film about his university story. But
Yep,
this one is purely focused on how he got this job and what did he do, especially when your master's is such a short span. I didn't know that you finished it in like 16 months, so that means there's probably some more courses you took. You have to manage your time, etc. So
exactly.
um
And then it was the 37 credit course, not like normal 30 credit one. So I had taken more courses in my first semesters to graduate early and then start working early.
Mm.
So
Did you have any work experience before you came to United States?
no, I did not have any prior experience. My bachelor's was in electrical and electronics engineering back in Amrita, Coimbatore. Right after my graduation, I took 3 months to like figure out everything, and then I moved to United States right after my graduation, and then here I am.
Mm. Even more inspiring because you are moving from electrical to data analyst. A lot of people wants to do this, so hopefully you'll be inspiring them through your journey.
Yep, sure.
And you don't even have experience, plus now you are like a lead data analyst. So obviously you landed in January 2022. You had first summer. You are not eligible to do internship, so you're like, all right, screw it. Let's just take some courses. You took some courses, but then at some point of time you realize like I could either do another internship in the summer or and extend my masters, or I can just skip that and graduate and then just focus on my full time job search, which is like commendable because you don't have work experience, so you're going for like big game, which is like
Yeah.
finding a full time job search. So how let's talk through how did you build your portfolio, because I'm assuming that was like your number one thing to getting a job interview calls, unless there was something else. So how what was the things you worked on to build your profile or portfolio?
So first thing in the first semester, I had two courses. I mean, I had five. Out of them, two were related to pure data, like machine learning, and one of the other courses, SQL. And
Hmm.
then that's where I started doing my first projects in data analytics. And then I did a machine learning project and a SQL project. And after my first semester, I had like two projects. And during my fourth month of first semester, we got an email from a UConn saying that there's a competition. Would you like to participate, like to all the students? And then we have registered for teams, and then we were a team of four, and then we started participating in the competition, and then it was like it was there for 2 months. We struggled a lot, like buying pro versions of Google Colab and everything. Finally we made it. Our team won the third prize in the competitions conducted by Travelers Insurance Company. And then that's where it all started. Like all these skills that I've learned during the 2 month journey have like it's like base of my profile. And then once I won this competition, then I was like, okay, let's do more competitions and then let's participate in more hackathons. And then I
Hmm.
had participated around six competitions during my whole master's journey, and then around two hackathons. I won few of them, like when I lost in few of them, and then I was in top 10 for few of them, and then like it was like ups and downs. But then that's where I build my portfolio. It's rather than doing guided projects and then learning something new. I learned during using those competitions and hackathon and the
Hmm.
people I met during the competitions. I had people joining me from different universities because it was a competition. So I got to meet them and then learn from their knowledge and then learn from their projects that they have done and then their skills. So all these things added to my portfolio. And then, yeah, that's my journey of building projects.
Okay, let's break it down because it's very interesting. You probably don't know right now, but if you can send me the list of hackathons and competitions you participate, I would love to like just put it out there for. And because I know a lot of hackathons are for software engineers, and a lot of competitions are for software engineers, and there are some for business analysts and product managers. I wasn't aware of much competitions and hackathons of data analysts. So, are these competitions focused on data projects, or like what do you have to do in these competitions?
So most of these competitions are based on machine learning projects. My profile was mostly directed to machine learning and deep learning part of it rather than data analyst. Like say if I have 10, like if I have 100 projects, like 80% of or 70% of them are related to machine learning, deep learning, 30% are related to data analysis work. So these competitions were mostly machine learning and deep learning based. Like say they would give us data and then we would have to predict something or forecast something like time series forecasting or mostly classification models or regression models. And then like if it's a mostly those were imbalanced data sets, and then like it was based on recall and precision. The competitions, they were data projects, data competitions
Mm.
conducted by companies. They would give their part of data and then they'll obviously change the, they won't give us the original
Yeah,
data, but
yeah, right.
then they'll,
It'll mask
yeah,
it.
they'll
Yeah. Right.
transfer the data into some with some numbers, and then yeah, it's like proportional to the original data, but it's not the original data. And then they would take some insights from us and then our models, and then they'll try to implement in their work. And then if
Mm.
it works out, or if they like the process, or if they like the insights that you have given, they'll choose according to those marks or the thresholds that I have set for the competition, and then they'll choose the winner. So I
Mm.
found this from UConn, and then some are from Kaggle, and some of them were recommended by my professors. If they find something, they'll forward it to me, and then they were like, "Would you like to participate with me, or like, do you have a team with you?" Something like that.
Mm. Would you
I
recommend
would.
students who are in this data field like they should go and participate because that helps them?
Exactly, it helps a lot. So to be precise, there was a hackathon which I had to travel like 2 to 3 hours from my city to participate. It wasn't a exactly data competition, but then it was like giving our business ideas to the. There were like 10 to 20 companies coming to
Mm.
that hackathon, and then they wanted students or working professionals to give some ideas about healthcare industry. And then we, as a team of three, we went there and then we presented our idea, but we presented our idea in terms of data. Everyone was using like create a software, create an app for that, and then we were using some LLMs and generative AIs to like we gave a solution, and then it was like on spot. We went at 9 o'clock. They explained the business problem for an hour, and then they gave us 5 hours to develop a business problem. So we sat for 5 hours continuously, and then we found a business problem, and then we presented it. There were about 20 teams, and then they chose three winners, and then our team was the first. And then we
Mm.
got a $2,000 prize. That's another thing. And then I got to meet a lot of people. It's not about the money or winning. The judges, all of those, the judges that they came, they were directors of companies, CEOs of those companies, and then who are in executive positions. So I took their contacts, LinkedIn URLs, and then everything. And then I spent a day or two after going back in reaching out to them, remembering that, hey, I have won this competition. You gave me these valuable suggestions. I was hoping if I could get more on this, or else if you know any other hackathon, I can participate again. And then that has given me more calls. I mean, I know that I know them, and then they know me. I can just send my resume to them, and then, hey, I'm looking for opportunities. Do you have any in your company? Or they,
Mm.
I ask them to refer to in their network also. So I
Mm.
got so many calls. It's not about gaining. It's about gaining knowledge, but not money. And then it's all about networking. You find
Yeah,
amazing
and
people.
the additional point would be like I agree with what you are saying, but then the additional benefit is also you have something which you can talk about it in your interview, and that is also something you can put it in your resume. That, for
Exactly.
example, this healthcare problem, like I'm 100% sure that you mentioned it in your Blue Cross interview that
Yeah.
we solved, right? So these are the stories you're building, otherwise you wouldn't have these stories to put it in your resume or to put it in your interview. So addition to like money and the networking opportunity and gaining the work experience and portfolio, there's so much benefits, and I 100% agree
Exactly.
that people should do that. I would love to see even the messages you sent. We will get to that part
Okay.
a little
Okay.
bit, but let's talk about time management, because I feel like you participated one, like you did your entire masters in 16 months. You took summer courses. You also participated in this competitions. And you are not from data analyst background. You are like from electronic and telecommunication, so you didn't like really do a lot of coding other than your last semester. So how did you like how much time did you spend every day in learning these things? Because I think that's the key thing in your journey which set you apart, is my guess, but I'm curious to learn.
Yeah. So one thing to add on is I didn't have a part time for first 2 semesters. So I was
Okay.
managing money from my dad, and then he was sending, and then I was taking from loan. So I took that as advantage rather than like going in depression. Like I did not have
I
money from
love it.
part
I
time.
love it. I love it.
So then I thought, okay, let's invest this time on learning something and then meeting new people. And then like everyone was getting part time, and some most of us didn't have part time. But then we thought, okay, who doesn't have part time? Let's do something. Who have part time? Let's work and then earn money. So I chose this path of not getting like I didn't have part time. So I thought, okay, let's do courses on Udemy and then meet new people, do competitions and learn, do more projects. So I think that was the main advantage I had not having part time, and then I got that extra 20 hours to learn more and then connect with new people and professors. So
Well,
that's how I
no,
managed my time.
yeah, but like, okay, so there's a little bit of differentiator in you. You are also very driven. I know I just met few students yesterday, and they don't have part time, but they're also not using that time which they are getting because they don't have a part time, right? So you use that time very wisely to like, you are exactly what you said, and this is what I recommend students as well. Like, one, if you are getting like a cafeteria job, uh, maybe like rethink that decision, that you can use that 20 hours instead of labor job. Use that and invest in yourself and actually build your portfolio and things like which you mentioned, like Udemy courses and projects and all of that. The only difference is that you actually did that calculation and you worked on it.
First semester, I had taken 5 courses, and then so I had like
Wow.
5 classes every week, and then I had to do 5 assignments every week. I mean, some of the courses were like one assignment in 2 weeks, but most like three of them were like every week I had an assignment. So I had to take do that assignment. Like each assignment used to take around 3 hours. So it was like overall around 15 hours of assignment, 15 to 20 hours of work for assignments, and then 20 hours of classes, and then that was done for 40 hours, and then 8 hours of sleep a day, and then I used to have at least 3 to 4 hours left in every day after like my daily works
Like
like
chores, yeah, like
going out
cooking
or
and yeah.
cooking and then everything. So out of these 4 hours, I used to spend 1 hour on Instagram and everything, like as everyone does. And then rest 3 hours, I spend watching videos on YouTube, or like your videos, and then I mostly watch uh, videos related to data analysts, like their
Mm,
interviews, what kind of questions do they get asked every day, and then what was their portfolio. I go on YouTube and search for say interview questions and answers for data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, and then I see what are the projects that they are doing, and then what are the skills that they have, and then they would sometimes they share their resume. So I go see those resumes and then LinkedIn profiles. Okay, what's something that they have and what's something I don't, and
mm,
then I go on Udemy and search for those courses and then buy those courses and then start learning. During weekends, mostly I do my assignments, and then because all of us sit together and then we think like, okay, wow, this can be done, and then if we have some idea, we share, and then like like usual masters thing, and then
mm.
this extra time mostly I spend on YouTube watching videos, and then Udemy. Like Udemy was my go-to thing. If I don't know something, it's Udemy. I go, I spend $10 on a course, I buy it, I get like it's done in 50. It says 15 hours, but then I put it in 2x. I'm done within 8 hours,
Mm.
and
And
then I
then
go
would you
build
build up?
projects on what.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yep. The next step in job application is nobody knows about you until you show them. So
Exactly, that's the key.
right, yeah. So how did you, like, okay, you gathering all this thing about you and you're building it, how are you now starting to show? So one is building it, but then second part of the whole application is like, all right, I'm gonna start showing this is what I have. So what kind of things did you do?
That's where LinkedIn comes into picture. So I had LinkedIn in my undergrad, but then I wasn't using it. I had some around 500 to 600 followers and then few connections. And then I started working on my resume and LinkedIn because that's where the game starts.
Can we see both of them? Can we see
Yep.
your resume? Can we see your LinkedIn? And how are you presenting your portfolio?
Okay. And then this was an unpaid internship that I've done. And then I got this Lego group. I worked as a data scientist for 4 months. I got it through my college. So they selected three students from whole campus to work with Lego. And then I got this opportunity. I was one of them.
Wait,
And
wait, wait, wait,
then,
wait. Okay, now we gotta pause for 1 minute because this is something interesting. Unpaid internship. So, how did you get it, and what was the process of getting it, and why did you think that I should do it? Because you're not getting paid for it. So, like,
yeah.
walk us through that before
And
we
then,
go to the resume
got it.
part.
So during my fall semester also I wasn't eligible for internship, and then but I didn't have a real time experience. And then I got another mail from UConn saying, okay, there's an opportunity to work with Lego Group. Would you be interested? And I thought, okay, let's apply. And then by the time I was working on my resume, and then I had a good resume by that time, and then I sent it out to them. And then so what happens is UConn, all the professors, and then Lego people, and then university, they'll choose some people, three from master students and then two from MBA. So it's a group of five, and then all of us will work with Lego, and then they give us their data, and then we give some insights and everything. So I was selected, and then because I had a rapport with with lot of professors, and then I had a good profile and then everything, so I got I was selected for that Lego thing. And then it was for there for 4 months. It was an unpaid internship, I knew it, but then I thought, okay, it is a learning opportunity. I could meet with people who are actually into data from like 10 years, 20 years, and then working for Lego. And then it's a very good company, and I thought it's a good learning for me to connect with
Mhm.
people and then learn more from my professors, because I could get to work with my professor directly, and then with Lego people directly, and then it's a networking opportunity, learning opportunity, and then it boosts my profile and portfolio. So it's like all in one package.
Yeah. And so the process for you was that your university sent out an email, and obviously you were very active. You kept looking, and you're like, all right, I should apply for it. You applied for it. Was there an interview process, or was it just pretty much everyone applied who got it? Or,
Yeah, there was no interview process. It was like we send out the resumes, and then they see our profiles and everything, and then depending
okay.
on what professors give, I'm guessing it depends on professors feedback, and then our profile, it's a combination of everything. And then they send out this email every semester. For first semester I wasn't selected, then I thought, okay, I have to get this, and then I was waiting for Lego's email. By that time I built a rapport with professors. I'm guessing that helped me a lot in getting this position as a data scientist.
Got it. So that's how you got this on unpaid internship, which obviously you put it in your experience section. So let's
Yeah.
now walk through the section.
The only experience I had was this Lego for my job search as a data scientist. And then here comes all the skills and certifications I have done. I did this W desktop specialist certification, and then I learned it from YouTube and Udemy, and then I gave the official exam, and then I got the certification, and then the Zira fundamentals also. Then comes my
Wait, wait.
projects.
So, also, like, I want to point out something for people who might have not noticed it. I'm an hiring manager, so I kind of noticed it. Um, e- Even though it was unpaid internship, like, he still put the experience part first. A lot of people do education first. I think the experience which he gained is valuable, and so that's why you put it there, because it clearly shows you have a data scientist and then another thing which you have done, which is very cool, is that you have a GitHub link which kind of shows all your work is live and people can look at it. I'm assuming that was an intentional decision. And
Yeah.
other thing, like, there are 4 bullet points, and if you see the structure of those 4 bullet points, it is an action which you took. So you implemented machine learning model to predict, to do something, the outcome of it. And what is the result? So achieved 93% r squared. I don't know what that means, but it means something to the data people. But so
Exactly.
so he's clearly communicating what, not just what he did, but it's also what he did, how he did it, and what was the outcome he got from what he did. Is that fair to say?
Exactly. Yeah, companies do not, most of the companies do not care about what we have done. The thing that they care about is what was the impact of what we have done. It's not about like, I have done that, I have done this. It should be like, I have done this to generate this much amount of money. I have automated this to save 20 hours of work a week, 50 hours of work a month. So it's about the impact we created on company rather
Yeah.
than the work that we have done.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the third point, which is very valuable, detected a 13% sales decline. Again, there's an action that you detected. assuming using some form of analysis. But
Yeah,
13% of sales decline in kids product, an insightful indicator for market shift favoring adult centric products. So again, it's for companies, they are like, they this is the things you will be doing in real world as well when you start working. So that's why it resonates that, oh, he knows what he's talking about, versus what a lot of people will do is they won't use such language. They will just say, I did data analysis to figure out the kid centric products or something like that, versus
yeah.
like, is it you did it, but you just need to like reverse it.
Yeah, exactly. And then if I see something in job description which I don't have in resume, I try not to put in skill section. I rather use those skills to create a bullet points in some of my experiences, because I've read it in an article and then got to know some of the mentors saying that some of the most of the ATS scans through resume, but it tries to find the skill section from the bullet points rather than the skills section of it. So if we
Hmm.
use it in a point, the chances of ATS extracting is more than when it is in the skill section.
Yeah, and I love that you have links for every single project you have worked on.
Yep. And then this is a trick that I have used. I got to know from my career fair, my career team at UConn. Instead putting your heading as projects, make sure it's academic project experience. So ATS thinks
Nice.
that it's an experience, and then if you have the dates here, and then it adds the experience for you. I mean, if the
Mm,
ATS is advanced, it might not, but then most of them times it adds. So I did use
mm,
that trick to put a title for every project and then put date for every project. So I'm not sure if it added, but then like what he mentioned was every time, like most of the ATS, they do think that it's experience and then they add it. So if someone's making a resume, make sure you have it as academic project experience rather than
mm,
academic projects or just projects.
Cool, cool. I love this trick. This is awesome because you've also kind of put the role like data scientist, and then you put the project name kind of thing, which would act like a company's name. So this is awesome. And then a lot of them are hackathons and competitions. So
And then a good portfolio. If you're in United States, portfolio is very important, and a LinkedIn profile. So make sure you have your LinkedIn profile and then your GitHub or portfolio at the top. And then like you don't want them to come back and ask you, can you send us a link of this project that you have done? You should give them freedom to go and search for themselves directly rather than them getting back to you and then you sending the link or then uploading the project in GitHub or then creating a GitHub link. So you want them to give you the freedom of looking at your projects because you have. So first thing that you have to do if you're starting to search your job is to have a solid LinkedIn resume. So start with having a nice car photo and then a professional profile photo. I've changed this after getting the job, so I have something that's relevant to job search or data field or software field that which you're trying to get a job in. And then since you're looking for a job, make sure you have open to work banner. I've removed it. And then headline matters a lot, and then your headline says everything. What kind of opportunities you're looking for, what kind of skills you have. It shouldn't be like a normal say I'm looking for opportunities. And then I can show you one website where you can check the score of your headline. So let's say if you see your score is 8 by 100. So let's say I'll open a profile of my friend who's looking for a job, and then see his LinkedIn headline, and then we can see what's the score of his. So you can see how it should be and then how it shouldn't be. So let's copy
mm,
this. See, he got a 100 score. So
mm,
you can use this tool to analyze how good your headline is. And then here comes the activity, the post, and then the about section. And it's also very important. And then if someone wants to get a glance of your life or your professional life, uh, this is the section where you can drive it. So start with your education. Like I'm doing this, I'm pursuing masters here, and then go on to your experience. I have 4 years of experience in this company as a data scientist or software engineer, and then I have 2 years of experience in this. And then something that you're proud of or competitions, like I mentioned the hackathons and competitions here. And then at last, to sum up, you can say that I'm looking for opportunities. You can reach out to me uh, at LinkedIn, or you can visit my profile at GitHub. and then you can give your email ID, and then if you're fine with giving your mobile number, you can do that also. If it's even if it's a small thing or putting big thing, so make sure you have the description, what you have done, the skills that you have used. If it's relevant to your job, like the job that you're looking for, add it to your resume, add it to your LinkedIn for sure. And then this is the Lego thing. So if you see, I've added every point that's on my resume to the Lego, and then same with education,
Hmm.
all the activities, and then everything. What was I doing as a tutor, and then my undergrad, and then add your licenses or certifications that you have, and then all the projects, and make sure you have content for your projects also. So you can add up
Yeah.
to 50 skills and then add most of the skills that are related to your job search. And then next comes the important part, which is recommendations. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jennifer Ego is my professor. And then like I had done I had taken around two courses under her, and then she also was the part of selecting the students for Lego committee, and then another capstone project. So I asked her if she could give me a recommendation, then she was more than happy to give me.
There's two ways to get the interview calls. One is to apply the cold applications, and then hopefully you get the interview calls, or you are reaching out to the people. And in your case, you kind of did both, sounds like, and you
Yeah.
started getting interview calls. So let's go one by one. Maybe we start with how did you start reaching out to people? What do you really tell them? And then like how was the response rate? And then go from that to cold application side.
Yeah, sure. So first thing, I wanted to graduate in May 2023, so I started to apply for jobs in Jan 2023. So then I started, like, I didn't know what was the process exactly, so I was like, for the first 45 to 50 days, I was just applying hundreds of applications with same resume. I applied to over 700 roles in the first 50 days, and then I was nowhere. I just had like 3 to 4 calls, I mean those screening calls, and then I was nowhere. Then I thought, okay, I had to change my process. This is not how it works. And then I started to talk with my seniors at UConn, and then people I know who are working. One thing I found which was necessary was to tailor your resume for more jobs that you apply.
Hmm.
So if you're applying for a data analyst position, and then if you the job description says that you need SQL, and then if your resume doesn't talk anything about SQL, or if you don't have a project which is based on SQL, I mean you don't have to apply, because you will not get selected, because the job description says that they need this, and if your resume doesn't have it, you will not get it. So make sure you're tailoring your resume for every job. That's very important.
Yeah.
And then comes the networking part. Once you apply, go to company's website, find some people, like 10 people, maybe one or two recruiters, hiring managers, and executive position people, and then the rest of them in the same field that you're applying for, and try to get a rapport, and then ask them if they could refer you, and then if they can push the application internally, or if they can connect you with someone that can help you inside the company. That's where the game changes. Because because if you are not reaching out, you might get rejected. But if you reach out, at least they'll see your profile.
Yeah.
Then if they don't like it, then they'll reject. In the other case, the machine might reject you. In this case, at least you'll get your application when the person will view your application for sure if you're getting referred.
You took a step back, like after applying 500 applications, then you're like, all right, this is not working out, I'm going to take a step back. And so first thing you did is you started tailoring your resume towards the job applications you're applying. Then
Yeah.
second step you said is like you also started reaching out to the recruiters or hiring managers who are working, so that they can, like, at least have a look at your profile and resume. So how did you find those people and how did you reach out? Like, what was your messaging?
Found some resources, and then if you type, say, talent acquisition, you get this. And then if you go to people, and then you can put your location, say if you're in United States, or United Kingdom, or India, or if you want to put for a particular city, you can do that. And then I put a filter for United States, and then yeah, I've connected with this already. So I mean, you can find the people who have title of talent acquisition specialist. If it's a hiring manager directly, you don't have to get a rapport, because they know that you're looking for a job. If you reached out to them, so you can just send a message saying to send it for recruiters. If you want to see someone who's hiring, I have these two: data analyst and
Oh, interesting. So is it like a
Yep.
sequel, LinkedIn sequel kind of thing?
I think so. So if you see Mark, he's a data analyst and then he's hiring.
Hmm.
So you
Okay.
find, and then if you see Ria, she's a talent acquisition specialist and then she's hiring for data analyst.
Okay.
So
And
you
then you
find
would
people
just
who are hiring.
basically message them saying that, hey, here's my profile. Basically, your message just copy paste it and then like attach my
Yep,
resume.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, since they're hiring managers, we don't have to get a rapport first because they know that we are looking for jobs and then they know, like, they are looking for people.
So the framework is if it is someone you're trying to build a relationship and then like don't start with like hey give me a referral, probably start with like a
Exactly.
common thread and start that conversation, try to learn about their journey, etc. And then if it is a hiring manager which they are saying that I'm hiring for this position, or a recruiter, you don't have to start building rapport because they are one already looking for the people, so just
Exactly.
exactly. So got it. Okay.
If you see this percentage, it shows how much percentage of
Hmm.
match that have with my resume and then this job description. So this is a home extension that the job seekers can add. So it is called analytics, and then it shows the percentage match between your resume and then job description. And the green ones are the ones that it found in both of them, and then red ones are the ones that on in the job description but not on your resume. And then you can use these keywords to tailor your resume. Simplify, which
Hmm.
made my life easier. It's called, if you add all your work experience in it, it fills the application for you. So it's a AI tool again. So here I've added my work
Wait,
experience
what?
and
Like
projects.
okay, and then it goes and finds the application and just fills up the
No, no,
application,
no.
or
Let me see this one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see this auto tool. It says let's do it,
Oh,
and
so
then
it fills out like the basic things like phone number
it fills experience
and
also. But
then
once you tell your resume, you can add everything. It uploads your resume. It
mm,
uploads your work experience, the title, and everything.
mm. Is it paid
Because
or is
it
it free?
no, it's free. It's a free AI tool.
Okay,
You can see
very
the
nice.
magic happening.
Yeah, yeah.
It fills the education part and then everything, GPA too. But once you tell your resume, you just have to replace the text. At least the company's name, company, your title, your work period, or like duration of your work. You don't have to worry those. It adds the skills also. If you can see,
Oh,
it's
this
adding all
is
my
so
skills.
cool.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
I do have one more tool to cold email people. So say you found a person and then you send a request and you are very much
Mm,
interested in the job, but then the person hasn't replied and your profile suits to your job description, but you want to talk with them, you can start mailing their work email. But we have some difficulty in finding what's their work email. So I was
mm.
researching on that, and then I found this website which is called Hunter.io email
Hunter.io.
finder.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Mm.
say, I'll type my and I paste it here. Yep. Yeah, that's our email address.
Right. But like you would have to know what the person is before you email them, right?
Exactly. You gotta find the person on LinkedIn and then use their first name, I mean full name here, and then the
But
company's website.
how would you find, so can we go back to the LinkedIn and then maybe let's go to one of the jobs? Yeah,
And if
so
you go to
let's
this company,
okay.
people, because he's into software engineering, but then say if say, assume he was into data, and then you'll just type his name instead, Crystal Dukes there, and then you'll find the website of Brunswick Corporation, and then put it there. Then you get your email, and you can just say, hey, the same message that you can send. First para about yourself, like your education, and then go about your experience, and the last para should be about I'm looking for these jobs. I'm
Mm,
attaching my resume here. If you need anything from me, please let me know. The worst thing that could happen is the email address might be wrong or they could ignore you, but the best thing that could happen is if they reply and then if they can connect with you or with someone, or if they can get you an interview call directly or a screening call at least, it might be a game changer for your life. So I got ignored a lot of times. The email address was might be wrong, but then I did get some replies like that. So I got some calls like that too.
Yeah, this is awesome. I think I've shared this like Hunter.io
Oh, okay.
on it, but like yeah, it's very similar to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
this is great. So these are all the techniques which you've been using to either find a people, to do the cold application, referrals, etc. And because of that, you're starting to get interview calls. What's the interview process for data analyst?
So the first round was with my director and my manager, and then they walked me like they asked me about tell me about yourself, and then walked me through my resume, and then my manager had asked me about SQL questions, Excel questions, and then Power BI questions, and then at the end I had answered all of them. At the end, they gave me a chance to ask if I had any questions. So that was one thing. There's one thing that I did differently. What I did was I asked them what are the projects that they're working on right now and what are the problems that they're facing, and then they were humble enough to say me that what's the project, high level understanding of the project that they're working on. And then after the call, I have noted all the details of what they're working on and how is it going with them. After the call, within 2 days, they mentioned that I'm for second round, and then I got 5 days. So then I started researching on what they're working on, and then I made a plan, a solution of how it can be done, and then what can they improve in their process, in their current process. And then I presented in the second interview, saying that at the end of the interview, not during starting. And then in the second interview, I had my director, manager, and the technical person interviewing me. And then at the end, I told them, like you mentioned about the project, I thought a lot about it, and then I did some research, and then used my skills to develop this. And then I thought using this tool might work, or if this is a flow, this process might be easier. If you can save this much amount of money, and this might cost you, like if you use this one, the computation power might be less. And then I give my insights on the project that they're working on right now. I think that was a game changer. I asked them what was the project that they're working, and then gave them um,
Mm.
my solution. I mean, I did my work of giving my solution. So within 20 minutes, they are like, okay, selected. I was in shock because they mentioned that it'll take 3 days for them to reply, and then I got the call 20 minutes later. They were like, "You're in." Okay. Then they asked me about my salary, and then I told it, and then they were like, "Okay, we'll give you X amount of salary with Y amount, Y percentage of bonus." Okay. I got my offer
Nice.
in 3 days. 2 weeks later, background verification was done, and then I've joined within 2 weeks.
Very nice. What's the typical salary range for data analyst?
So for a entry level data analyst like who have moved to US right after the graduation, if he is in data analyst looking for data analyst job, it starts with around $60,000, and then it depends on their skills and then how they negotiate and what's the company that they're getting into, and depends on the project budget also. But it starts with 60,000 for sure. And then once they gain experience and then move into different company or different project in the same company, it goes around 80, 90, or 20.
Yeah. And other thing is that you're in South Carolina, which again doesn't have like high income versus if you were to do the same job in Bay
Exactly.
Area or Boston or New
Yeah,
York,
that's there.
you
The
probably
location
make like
matters.
I think we didn't talk about like how did you prepare for it, but I'm guessing because of your projects and things you were already working on, that kind of turned into preparation for interviews. So you didn't
Yeah,
really need
exactly.
to like prepare a lot.
And then yeah, I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube already, as I mentioned from my first semester, like seeing all the interviews of different people. And then there's something called interviewingquery.io. I think yeah, here it is. So this is a paid plan. It's like about $40 a month, but it's worth it. You'll see all the like right now I don't have subscription because I canceled it after I got a job. So here
Mhm.
you will see all the different kinds of case studies and everything. You practice questions to practice, and that's how you can practice. And then there are a lot of people who post on LinkedIn. They post the PDFs, 100 interview questions for SQL, 100 questions for Python, Excel, Tableau, Power BI. Download them, have a look at them, and then first thing you have to do when you get into call is learn about the company. What's their culture, what's their mission. To add up, it's not only LinkedIn. There are a lot of websites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Dice, Jobot, Simplify, Monster, Handshake. There are a lot of websites to find job postings. Don't just stick to LinkedIn, because like say if you're applying for 100 jobs, apply for 70 or 60 from LinkedIn, but rest of them should be from other posting, because every company might not have tie-up with LinkedIn, because they do have tie-up with other job posting websites, or we know what might be the situation. So there are a lot of openings on other websites also, and then apply
Mm.
from those also. That's for sure. And then one thing I did was, if you can go to all these new AI tools, ChatGPT, Bing, or Bard. So the data of startups in New York City related to data analytics. Here's the list for you. So you know that these are the companies that are related to data analytics in New York City. So find these companies on LinkedIn, find people, text them, because because most of the startups are hiring right now, you can use this, and then you can put in different cities like say Boston, San Francisco, San Jose, or Texas, Dallas, and everything. And then if you have some preference, you can use this prompt to get the list of companies.
It's
Exactly.
already 1 hour, so I'll probably bring you back and talk more about it. But before we end this conversation, what's the one tip would you give to anybody who's aspiring data analyst?
So one thing I would recommend is, I would suggest is, start small. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. Start small, do projects, connect with people, get to know each other, and then participate in competitions or hackathon, because that's where you find a lot of people in the same field with different mindsets, or different knowledge, or different like everything. Sometimes it's not about what you know, but sometimes it's about who you know.
Again, thank you so much, Sai. This was so informative. I can't wait to bring you back. But until our next one.
Keep smiling, keep hustling.
Nice.